from the Loft 100 Studios in sunny San Diego, California. Big Biz Show's on there. Great to have you along. 125 million TV homes, 150 radio stations in 175 countries. Great to have you along. Mike Costa to my right. Greg Todoroff to my left. I'm stuck in the middle with you. My name's Sully. That is the Day Trader Trio. Great to have you on. Mike, I want you to try it just once.
Oh, ready?
Yeah, just try it once.
Okay.
Just tell them 2 or 3.
Let's do a 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, nailed it.
It's like that, Mike. It's like bibbity bobbity.
Oh, okay. I can do that. Ready?
Do it.
Okay, you're not playing along. I get it. All right.
Can I ask you what is the last concert you went to?
It was Counting Crows over the weekend.
What?
Nobody broke a hip. Wow.
How many?
Have not aged well.
How many did you count?
And are you still depressed?
A little bit. Oh my God.
Around here.
Oh my. Thank you.
Yeah.
Bro.
Oh.
Yeah.
You may as well go see Depressed Mode.
Well,
Pretty much.
Get liquored up.
Yeah.
I spent a week there one day.
But I liked Counting Crows during the days of Gin Blossoms
Yes.
and
yeah.
Bare Naked Ladies, the Mighty Mighty Boss Stones.
Oh, so good. So good.
And I was hopped up on Tab and
Of course.
a little
Oh,
bit
yeah.
of hair gel.
Huh?
It was
Gotcha.
good. Remember Tab?
Yeah.
Yeah.
1 calorie.
Yeah. They couldn't quite get there.
Allegedly.
One more calorie would have been done.
Calorie.
Hey, one of the best parts of this show is when we get email from you across the country, and every once in a while it's about a celebrity, or sometimes it's about an author. Greg got an email about a year and a half ago
Oh yeah.
about a company called Acurx Pharmaceuticals. The guy's name is David Luci. He is the president and CEO, and this is why it's interesting, because the modern antibiotic, okay, is to the point where it's like it doesn't work anymore.
Yeah.
You had 6 days of tequila, 7th day, doesn't work anymore. So I just want to put it in your parlance.
Okay. I understand now.
But what's interesting about this is because they have created a newly approved antibiotic to resolve the problem where, we're all going to die. I give you David Luci. David, what's up, brother? Good to talk to you.
Great to be here, Sully. I hope you had a great summer.
I did. It's still summer. Thanks for bringing that. One more day, it would have been over. I got like 3 more weeks left. Actually, I've got if you think about that, I've got 20 good summers left and then 5 bad ones.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Yep.
Yeah, there's the alpha years. Hey, David, can you give us a little bit of an overview on the difference between what we've been experiencing at hospitals who give us large doses of antibiotics and what you guys are doing?
Sure. The process is known as antimicrobial resistance. It's considered the next pandemic by the World Health Organization and the CDC. And the problem is, in the last 30 years, all of the antibiotics that have been approved across the board, 100%, are new generations of existing antibiotics. So like penicillin was replaced by amoxicillin that we all take now. Every time they make a new variation, it's a new cluster of atoms on what already exists. So the medicine can identify it more easily as medicine, trying to kill it, and they morph their properties to avoid being killed. That's why everyone is saying in the science world that you need a new class of antibiotics in all the different areas of infection.
So, David, so I don't remember, but does this mean that we are resistant to antibiotics? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, we're all becoming resistant to
Great
antibiotics because of their overuse. And the pandemic made it even worse.
So let's talk about the pandemic, because there was a race to the top regarding vaccines, and we all heard that we didn't rush through it. We just got pushed to the front of the line because the science is already there. So we've got the template for a vaccine, and then we put the COVID cootie in, and that's how it worked. Is that same thing that happened with vaccines, like the flu shot, for example?
It's very, very similar. The flu shot, a lot of people say that you're getting a vaccine against last year's flu.
Yeah.
And just like bacteria, last year's flu isn't what you're getting this year. It morphs its properties in order to avoid being killed by what it recognizes as medicine. And our product's not approved yet, just to make sure you understand. We're in phase 2B, but we have data coming out In C. difficile infection, 20,000 people die every year from it in the U.S., 600,000 infections. We know that the data that we're going to have, that we're going to report, is so transformative that there's not anything like it that the medical community has seen in terms of efficacy and restoring the microbiome. I wanted to make that point because this is one area of infection, C. difficile, that's going to be taken care of once we are at the market.
David, if you can, go into drug specific and where you guys are, and are C. difficile cases on the rise? I hear that name a lot more in advertising on television.
It's peaking dramatically, and we think it's got a lot to do with the pandemic and all of the concomitant antibiotics that were given to folks that had to go into the hospital with COVID-19. Half of them had to go onto antibiotics. So they become even more resistant to antibiotics generally. And guess where C. difficile most of the time is contracted, is in the hospital setting. So they're getting C. diff while they're on a ventilator.
More great news.
Wow, right.
Yeah.
David, in terms of velocity, because we know you're a couple years out, the FDA wants you to do 1 million tests and all that stuff to keep the drug safe and make sure it's the efficacy is solid. But is there a compassionate care program maybe in the future? Because at some point, your phone's going to ring, or there's black helicopters from Smith Kline outside because you made a great drug. But I have to believe it. You've got to be able to speed up the process, right?
Well, yeah, we're fortunate enough to be fast track designated by the FDA. So they really have, even in fact, in our specific process, they bend over backwards, getting back to us quickly, responsively. So I don't imagine, I think that some of our current conversations will lead to a big pharma partnership sooner rather than later.
So that's the risk-averse model when you bring in the gallon guy with the little suitcase and they walk into the doctor's office and you're at the 5-yard line, but you let them do the marketing. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. And what I tell my shareholders is, look, these guys are so good at what they do with marketing that we're going to get a small percentage of such a larger pie that you're going to do even better with them being involved.
David, before you get out of here, what are you looking forward to most for the rest of this year? Is there any upcoming trial news, or you're starting to plan for 2024?
No, this year, we're dedicated to coming out with that press release to say that our independent data monitoring committee has recommended early termination of our current trial.
Wow.
And moving on to phase 3, and we're going to come out with the data.
David Luci is his name. He is the president and CEO of a company called Acurx Pharmaceuticals. They are publicly traded on the stock symbol ACXP. Are you familiar?
Thank you, Sully.
Buddy, it's great to have you along. We'll see you in a few weeks. I got to tell you, I'm a little worried about getting an infection. I mean, the lifestyle we live.
Well, just go to the hospital. You'll be safe.
Right.
No.
Doesn't sound good, does it?
And by the way, C. difficile, it means Costa's difficult. Right? Is that it?
If you study Latin.
You can't even say it. Big Biz Show. BigBizShow.com. More to come.
I don't ever want to see it again. Ever. And if you don't do it, you're fired.